When I moved into Willow Creek Estates, I thought I'd finally found peace. The neighborhood was neat, quiet, and close to my job at the hospital. I'd saved for years to buy this small but cozy house, my first real home in the U.S. As an immigrant nurse from the Philippines, it meant everything. The trouble began 2 weeks after moving in. During my first homeowners association meeting, I'd been told attendance was optional, but I wanted to meet my neighbors. I baked cassava cake and arrived early, nervous but hopeful. Inside the community hall, a group of people sat around a long table. At the head was Karen Willis, the HOA president. Blonde hair, pearl necklace. The type of person who looked like she ran the world, or at least believed she should. "Oh, you must be the new resident," she said, flashing a tight smile. "Lonnie, right. From where again?" "The Philippines," I replied, placing the cake on the table. "I made a little something for everyone." Her eyes flicked to the dessert, then back to me. "How nice." The meeting started. Most of it was about lawn regulations, trash bins, and holiday decorations. I tried to follow, but every time I spoke, Karen's expression tightened. When I suggested we organize a neighborhood cleanup drive, she smirked. "That's cute, but we already have maintenance for that. Maybe stick to, smaller ideas." Laughter rippled through a few of the attendees. I felt my cheeks burn. My accent always made me self-conscious, but I stayed quiet. After the meeting, I overheard her talking to another member. "Did you hear her? Cleanup drive, like we're in Manila or something." Bless her heart. They both laughed. I walked out before tears could form. I'd faced ignorance before. But it still hurt, especially in a place I wanted to call home. That night, I sat in my living room, staring at the HOA handbook. A thought lingered: if she was bold enough to mock me openly, what else was she doing behind closed doors? I didn't plan revenge. Not yet. But I decided something important: I'd attend every meeting, no matter how uncomfortable it got. The next one was in 2 weeks. I bought a small voice recorder from Amazon. Just to take meeting notes, I told myself. But deep down, I knew some people only learn when their own words come back to haunt them. And Karen Willis was about to learn that lesson the hard way. The next HOA meeting was scheduled for a Saturday afternoon. I arrived early again, this time with my little recorder hidden in my purse, the mic peeking through a small hole. I told myself it was just for documentation, nothing more. When Karen walked in, she immediately gave me that tight smile. "Lonnie, you're back. How wonderful. I wasn't sure you'd feel comfortable after last time." I returned her smile, though my stomach turned. Of course. I want to help the community. The meeting began with budget updates. I quietly hit the record button. About halfway through, Karen started complaining about unapproved decorations in front yards. I realized she was referring to my small bamboo wind chimes. "Some residents," she said, emphasizing the words, "seem to think this is some kind of resort. We have standards here, people." It's not. Whatever they're used to. A couple of chuckles followed. My heart pounded. "I didn't realize they were a problem," I said softly. "They're small and not loud." Karen sighed dramatically. "It's just that we try to keep things uniform. Maybe something more American." The room went silent. Then another neighbor, Mrs. Garcia, spoke up. "I think her chimes are lovely. They add character." Karen rolled her eyes. "Character isn't in the bylaws." I smiled at Mrs. Garcia, grateful for her support. The conversation moved on, but I kept the recorder running. Karen's comments grew worse, little jabs about foreign homeowners, how accents confuse vendors, and why people can't just blend in. After the meeting ended, Karen cornered me outside. "Listen, Lonnie, don't take things so personally. It's just cultural differences, okay?" "Sure," I said, keeping my tone even. She leaned closer. "And maybe next time, leave the foreign snacks at home. Some of us have sensitive stomachs." That night, I replayed the recording. Hearing her cruelty preserved in crisp audio made me both furious and vindicated. This wasn't just pettiness, it was discrimination. I thought about confronting her, but I decided to wait. I wanted proof, more than one meeting's worth. So, I kept recording. Every HOA session, every casual chat she dragged me into. Each time, her words got bolder, her prejudice clearer. She thought she was untouchable because she was president. But I was building a case. And when the time came, I wouldn't just defend myself. I'd show the whole neighborhood who their leader really was. By the fourth meeting, everyone noticed Karen's attitude toward me. Some avoided eye contact. Others whispered apologies after she left. Still, no one challenged her openly. I kept my calm, documenting everything. My folder was full of audio files, each labeled by date and topic. That day, Karen introduced a new agenda item. A motion to fine residents for unapproved exterior ornaments. It was obvious she was targeting me. This ensures consistency, she said, smiling. We can't have random decorations disrupting the neighborhood's aesthetic. Mrs. Garcia spoke again. Karen, that seems excessive. We all have small things in our yards, bird feeders, flags, lights. Karen's tone sharpened. There's a difference. Lonnie's decor doesn't fit our community image. We're not Southeast Asia. The room went still. Something snapped inside me. My hands trembled, but my voice was steady. Excuse me, Karen. Did you just single out my country as a reason for a fine? She blinked, surprised. Oh, don't be dramatic. I was just saying. No, I interrupted. You've mocked my accent, my food, and now my heritage. I've stayed quiet out of respect, but that ends today. Gasps filled the room. Karen stood, trying to regain control. You're misinterpreting everything. I've never said anything offensive. I reached into my purse and pulled out my phone. Actually, I've been recording our meetings, for accuracy. Her face paled. I pressed play. The audio echoed through the room, maybe stick to smaller ideas. Laughter. We try to keep things uniform. Maybe something more American. People's expressions shifted from confusion to disbelief. When the clip ended, silence hung heavy. Then a man from the back said, "That's unacceptable, Karen." Mrs. Garcia added, "You've embarrassed this community." Karen sputtered, "You can't record people without permission." "It's a public HOA meeting," I replied calmly. "Under our state law, it's legal." Her composure cracked. "This is ridiculous. You're twisting things." But the damage was done. Neighbors murmured, disgusted. Someone suggested voting for a new president. Karen stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I sat there, heart racing, as others thanked me for standing up. For the first time since moving in, I felt seen, not as the foreigner, but as part of the community. And though my voice still carried an accent, it no longer felt like a weakness. It sounded like power. The days after the meeting were tense. Karen avoided everyone, and rumors spread fast. Some said she'd been removed from the HOA board. Others claimed she was planning to sue. Meanwhile, neighbors began dropping by my house, some to apologize. Others to offer support. Mrs. Garcia even brought me flowers. "You did the right thing," she said. People needed to see who she really was. A week later, the HOA board called a special session. I attended, though part of me dreaded more drama. Karen showed up late, looking tired but defiant. "We're here," said Mark, the vice president, "to address recent events involving our president's conduct." Karen crossed her arms. "This is a witch hunt." Mark continued, after reviewing the recordings and multiple complaints. "We've decided that effective immediately, Karen Willis is removed as HOA president." A wave of relief washed over the room. Karen shot me a glare. "You think you've won? You humiliated me." I met her eyes calmly. "You did that yourself." She left without another word. Afterward, several neighbors volunteered to form a new board, this time one that valued inclusion. I was shocked when they nominated me as secretary. Me? I asked. Mrs. Garcia smiled. You've already proven you care more about this community than anyone else. That evening, I stood outside my house, listening to the faint sound of my bamboo chimes. For the first time, they didn't remind me of home, they were home. Weeks later, a letter arrived from Karen. It wasn't an apology, just a bitter note saying she was moving away to a neighborhood with higher standards. I folded it, smiled, and placed it in my drawer. Let her leave. Months passed, and Willow Creek began to change. People greeted each other more, shared recipes, and hosted small gatherings. Diversity became something celebrated, not mocked. At the next community event, I made cassava cake again. This time, it disappeared in minutes. Mark raised a cup toward me. To Lonnie, the woman who reminded us what community really means. I blushed, raising mine in return. To kindness and a little accountability. Everyone laughed. As the night sky glowed with string lights, I realized something important: justice doesn't always come from anger. Sometimes, it comes from patience and a well-timed recording. Karen had mocked my accent, my culture, my identity. But in the end, my voice, the one she tried to belittle, was the very thing that exposed her. And it never sounded stronger.